Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Hi, Assalamualaikum. We're still in chapter 1, subtopic 1.2, carbohydrate. So in this video, I would like to explain the structure of polysaccharides so that you can identify the structure of starch, glycogen, and cellulose. So let's take a look. Polysaccharide, as we know, can be divided into three, which is starch, glycogen, and cellulose. And polysaccharide is a macromolecule that made up of 100 or 1000 of monosaccharide. For example, starch is made up of monosaccharide alpha glucose. For glycogen, the monosaccharide also alpha glucose. But for cellulose, the monomer is beta glucose. For starch, the function is as energy store in plant. For glycogen, it acts as energy storage in animal. While cellulose, that is a major component of the plant cell wall. For starch, it can be divided into two according to the types of chain: amylose, the unbranched chain, and amylopectin, the branched chain. So for the first class, which is starch. So look at here, starch, we have two, amylose and amylopectin. How to differentiate between amylose and amylopectin? Look at the chain. For amylose, there is no branch. But for amylopectin, there's a branch here. After around 30 monomer or 30 alpha glucose, then have the branch. Let's focus on amylose. So here, show the amylose is unbranched. And then from this structure, we know that the monomer that made up amylose is alpha glucose. So look at this. So if the equation point, this is molecule X, name X. So should be known that this is alpha glucose. So if the question asks you what is the bond present in amylose, the answer is alpha 1,4-glycosidic bond. Why? Because this is alpha glucose and alpha glucose. So the bond between alpha glucose is alpha 1,4-glycosidic bond. For amylopectin, amylopectin is a branch chain. So the monomer is the same, which is alpha glucose. But if you can see here, have a branch. And then the branch involves carbon number 1 and carbon number 6 of the alpha glucose. So if the question asks you, name the bond here, so for sure the bond here is alpha 1,4-glycosidic bond. Then name the bond at the branch structure. So the bond is alpha 1,6-glycosidic bond because involve carbon number 1 and carbon number 6 of alpha glucose. So the next is glycogen. Glycogen, the monomer is still alpha glucose. So if we can see here, there is nothing different between glycogen and amylopectin. But obviously from this structure, we can see that glycogen has more branch or has excessive branch compared to amylopectin. Maksudnya, glycogen lebih banyak cabang berbanding dengan amylopectin. So, if the question asks you name molecule X, so you need to answer this as alpha glucose. So, name bond X. So, the bond between alpha glucose and alpha glucose, which next to each other, is alpha 1,4-glycosidic bond. But then the bond at the branch structure, the bond is alpha 1,6-glycosidic bond. So mean the bond that present in amylopectin also represent in the glycogen. So to make easy to compare the amylopectin, look at the structure. The branch is not that much compared to the glycogen. So that's why we said amylopectin is branch chain. Glycogen is highly changed or has excessive branch. Last class for polysaccharide, it is cellulose. And the cellulose is the structural component of plant cell wall. So cellulose is one and only polysaccharide that made up of beta glucose. So if the question asks you, name molecule X, you need to answer as beta glucose. Then if the question asks you, name polysaccharide Y, this polysaccharide Y, look at the structure carefully. From the structure we know the structure is unbranched. So for sure, you have two choice of answer. The first one is amylose. Second one is cellulose, because both are unbranched. But look at the position of oxygen in the ring. In this structure or in this diagram, the oxygen in the ring is flip-flop. Upside, downside, upside, downside. So, sentiasa berubah, bergilir-gilir, alternate. So, if you can see this, if the oxygen in the ring is flip, so this is represent cellulose. Another drawing or another diagram that represents cellulose is this. The diagram show the step-like structure. So this represent cellulose. So the question is why cellulose, the oxygen flip-flop or the arrangement of the branch is like step-like. So look at here. This is structure of beta glucose, and this is also beta glucose. So beta glucose is the monomer of cellulose. The reaction involves carbon number 1, the hydroxyl at carbon number 1, and the hydroxyl group at carbon number 4. Look at the position of the hydroxyl group. At carbon number 1, the hydroxyl group is upside. But for carbon number 4, for the beta glucose, the hydroxyl group is downside. So the reaction cannot occur in the same level. So either this beta glucose is carried to upside, so that the reaction can occur between this hydroxyl group of carbon number 1 and the hydroxyl group of carbon number 4. So it will bring the step-like structure. Or the structure of beta glucose is being rotated to downward. Can't you see now? After the structure of beta glucose is being inverted, so this will become carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4. Then the position of hydroxyl group is at outside. So it is similar. The position is similar to hydroxyl group at carbon number 1. So the reaction can occur in the same level. So the product is the structure of oxygen from the first beta glucose and the second beta glucose is flip-flop. Okay, this one is upside, this one is downside, and yeah, upside, downside. That will be continuously. So last one. Can you recognize polysaccharide A? This one. Look at this. This structure has a branch. So you think the structure is? Yes, this is represent amylopectin. And the question asks you to name bond Z. So the bond Z is the bond that forms the branch. So for sure the bond is alpha 1,6 glycosidate bond. So next, if the question asks you name molecule X. So this is represent alpha glucose. Next, name polysaccharide A in this. Okay, the second polysaccharide A. Look at the structure, oxygen, 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 oxygen at the same level, no branch. So mean this represent amylose correctly. So what bond represented by P? P is referred to alpha 1,4-glycosidic bond. So next, name polysaccharide B. Look at the structure of polysaccharide B. Position of oxygen is flipped, upside downside, upside downside. So means this represent cellulose. Yeah, correctly. So name bond R. So bond R is beta 1,4-glycosidic bond. Okay, the bond between beta glucose and beta glucose is beta 1,4-glycosidic bond. So next, name bond Q. So you can see this. The bond Q is represented by dotted line. So actually, bond Q is hydrogen bond. Okay, so hopefully you can identify the structure of amylose, amylopectin, glycogen, and cellulose. So that's all. Bye.
Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.